All right, so let's talk about the elephant in the room, or should I say the shiny objects. So with so many tools, apps, and platforms out there promising to build your business while you sleep, it's easy to get distracted with a shiny object. You name it, I've probably tried it. I'm sure you have too. And here's what I found. Those shiny objects didn't help grow my business like our very own AdvNav app can. This app is designed specifically for AdCosmetals to build so that you can save time, energy, whether you're working part-time or all in full-time. Why? Because above all else, this business is built on relationship. That's where the magic really happens. The challenge, staying connected even when it's not the right time for someone. So in a world of endless TikTok dances, reels, shorts, and notifications, your messages can feel lost in the noise. But don't worry, we've got the key to cutting through the noise, and it all starts with keeping it real, staying connected, and putting people first. That's what makes AdvNav the game changer, the noise. Here's the reality. Every day, people are hit with over 5,000 digital impressions. 5,000. From the moment you open your phone, advertisers, influencers, friends, everyone's clamoring for attention. And we've all been there. You search for something like gardening in Arizona, in the desert, and suddenly your entire feed is bombarding you with ads about desert-friendly plants the next day. Why? Because the big players pay for algorithms to push their content and messages to the very top. But here's what's interesting. If a friend reaches out to you with a quick text that says, hey, I know where you can get some lettuce that will survive the Arizona heat, you're probably going to be open to that a little bit more because there's a personal connection. You're going to perk up, right? And that's the beauty of relationship building in this business. Your relationship can cut through the noise in a way a random ad can't. This connection with your contacts is where the real impact happens. And it's what makes your message stand out. Another challenge, the classic quantity versus quality balancing act. Sure, anyone can send 100 messages or blast through a contact list, but does that mean your texts are getting opened? Are people watching your videos, RSVPing to your Zooms, or actually showing up? Cranking up the numbers doesn't always mean you're building real engagement, and those connections, when they're made well, are valuable. Those worth good money, they're worth good money to your business because your company knows that you've been able to get heard and understood is everything. Now, here's where things get tricky in the digital age. How do you know who's genuinely interested? It's not easy. If someone doesn't call back or shoot you a quick "I'm in" text, it's hard to tell. Yet knowing who your hottest prospects are is crucial, not just for your own success, but for them too. No one wants to be spammed, and if they're not interested, and on the flip side, a genuinely interested person doesn't want to be left in the dark. So how do you know? As Jim Rohn said, you cannot succeed by yourself. It's hard to find a rich hermit. The beauty of business is that we're in it together, and understanding these dynamics of relationship building and engagement is a huge part of making it successful. The AdvNav app is here to make it this easy, to help you focus on what matters most, strong, meaningful connections that lead to real, lasting growth. So let's go into the solutions. The main reason, the key to network marketing success is simply people. The power of networking is in the people. Trust is the foundation of any great network. This business isn't just about sharing information digitally. It's about making real lasting connections. And your goal, to move from the digital communication to real face-to-face interaction whenever possible. Remember, authentic relationships are irreplaceable. So let's be honest, if digital marketing could do all the work, there'd be no need for a network. Big companies wouldn't need us. They would just pump money into ads and call it a day. But because people crave connection and authenticity, you have an essential role in getting the message across in a meaningful way. This business is about reaching deeper into our networks, following the concept of the 7 degrees of separation. When you establish trust with one person, it opens up pathways to their connections, and those connections bring you even closer to reaching new prospects. Network marketing thrives on relationships that build a web of trust. Now let's talk about how to simplify the process. The AdvNav app is designed to make it easy for you to sort, share, and promote. It's a 1, 2, 3 step system that anyone can follow. By following these steps, even the newest recruit can quickly understand and feel empowered to share the product or business opportunity. As leaders like Robert Kiyosaki remind us, success in business isn't about reinventing the wheel. It's about duplicating a successful system. And the simplicity of AdvNav makes it possible. Prospecting made easy. The power here is with enough prospects, you don't have to force a result. Just by reaching out and sharing, you'll naturally sort interest. Not everyone will say yes, and that's perfectly fine. But by consistently sorting and sharing, you can create a steady flow of interested prospects, making it easy to identify those who are ready to take the next step. Research shows that people often need 3 to 7 exposures before they're ready to make a decision. By sharing tools, events, and opportunities multiple times, you give your contacts the chance to understand the value at their pace. Repeated exposure builds comfort and familiarity, and comfort leads to trust. I can never say that word. The app makes it easy to keep track of your hottest prospects, following up without letting anyone slip through the cracks. We all know that the fortune is in the follow-up. Keeping a log of your conversations, interests, and follow-ups makes it seamless to move people along in their decision-making process, staying organized and efficient. Once you've shared initial information, it's time to invite them to a more personal conversation. The transition might look like a Zoom call, a coffee meeting, a virtual event, a 3-way call, even with a mentor. Remember, it's always a no unless you ask. A simple invitation could be, I'd like to share with you why I chose @Metals. Can we connect for 10 to 15 minutes? When you're speaking to someone, a great technique is the feel, felt, found approach. Are you guys familiar with it? If so, type a 1. It's so important. Number 1, feel. Acknowledge their feelings. I understand how you feel. Number 2, felt. Empathize by sharing a similar experience. I felt the same way before I learned about @Metals. Found. Offer a solution or new perspective. What I found was this business model gave me the flexibility and potential I was looking for. And then always close and help guide your prospects naturally towards a decision without high pressure. Just ask them the 4 questions. Do you see how this business could fit into your life? Are you ready to take the next step? Can you envision yourself growing here? What excites you most about @Metals? And you can rewrite those however you wish, but that's it. With these tools and strategies, you're equipped to build relationships, share authenticity, and help prospects see the value of joining our network. The AdvNav app will make it simple to reach more people and make a bigger impact without sacrificing the personal touch that sets you apart. So in the chat box, I'd like you to tell me, have you seen or have you done the felt, found technique? Have you tried that before? And another thing I like to ask after a person has watched like the overview is, what was your favorite part? Instead of saying, what did you think, and leave it open-ended, it's super important that you just say, what was your favorite part? Because now they're forced to give you something a positive. And in many cases, they tell you they watched it, but they actually didn't watch it. And so this gives them an opportunity to fess up and say, hey, I didn't actually get a chance to watch it. And so it's okay. And then you just move forward with, well, when do you have time in the next 24 hours to do that, to be able to watch it? And then they'll give you the answer, and then you just reset it up. And so that's how I like to do it. I also like to say, on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being no interest at all, and 10 being that you're ready to get started today, where are you at? And anything over a 1 is good. If they say a 2 to 10, that just means that, if they say a 1, you can thank them for their time, and then always invite them to, or ask them if they would invite someone, if they know someone that already likes gold and silver, if they know someone that's praying for another income, if they could refer you. But if it's a 2 through 7, then say, how can I get you to a 10? What do I need to do for you to get to a 10? So your challenge, as we go through this, I'll be doing the demo next. Your challenge is to go to your contacts and search through your prospects if you've downloaded any or imported any. And if not, I'll show you how to do that. And you're going to assign them a star system, and you're going to label them. And that's your assignment is to get in there and decide which one you want to follow up with. We want you to follow up with at least 3 of your hottest prospects in the next 24 hours. Now, we purposefully have, let me do the live work session now. We purposefully do this on Fridays so that we have about 36 hours before the end of the week. And so this is going to get you pumped up and ready to rock and roll. So we encourage you to take the challenge seriously. So if you are new to the app, this is what it looks like. It's called Advancement Navigator. This is the dashboard. And the first thing to do would be go to your contacts. Now, if you don't already have someone in the contacts that you want to send something to, then you could just click on this bottom button here to add them. And there's many ways that you could add someone. You could just add them by adding the information manually, or you can click the import button at the very top here, and that's going to allow you to go one at a time. So let me show you what that looks like. And look through here and go, oh, I want to add Ashlyn. And then importer. Or you can come up to the wizard, and here's what we recommend. The wizard's going to force you to bring in 5 people at a time. So why we aren't saying do 50 at a time is because it's just, we want you to be able to do the follow-up. And so 5 at a time, you could do 10 if you're ambitious. But if you just click on that, and then the same thing's going to happen, it's going to open it up, and then you'll be able to click which 5 you want. Once you have them in, it's going to show a contact card. And on the contact card, we encourage you to label them and add notes, especially if there's somebody that you have just met out and about. And under notes, you can click on notes and add a note right here, whatever you want to write down, from their interest to what they were wearing. Again, if this is just somebody that you met in the grocery store checkout. And if I go under the edit button here, I can actually go in here and put a label on it. Oh, I'm sorry. What I wanted to do here is, if you know a significant date, like a birthday, you could put it in. let me show you, birthday, anniversary, hire date, etc. And this is where the label is. Now, we have added our own labels to help you along, but you could add your own. So some of the default ones are that they completed one of the surveys, maybe the book club. We're going to be doing a book club soon. That they're interested in bullion, interested in buying only, interested in gold, silver, specialty coins, team building, etc. And if you would like to, like, I think there's one at the bottom, a veteran, military, you met him at a trade show, etc. And you could add your own, whatever it is, you could add it right there. And the beauty of that is when you do go to look up your contacts, if you come up over here and click on these three lines over here, you're going to see different ways that you can sort your contacts. So you can sort them alphabetically, new to old, old to new, those that need follow-up, those that have opted into one of our email campaigns, sorting them by star ranking if you've given them a star ranking, and their score, and finally, the most recent that you've just added. So let's go in and share with you a little bit about that. The star ranking is something that you designate. So it's a 5-star setting, and you decide what you want. We have some guidelines that we're going to discuss in about 2 weeks of what we think that you should say that's going to be helpful to you. That the star rating is based on you. The score over here is based on what their activity has been with the app. So let me show you one that has a number. So here we have Taylor, and he has a number of 26. When I click on him, I can go into the activity log and find out what he has done. And based on everything that he has done, it has given him a rating automatically. And I love that part because that's going to help me to understand that the ones that have the highest score are the ones that are going to be the ones to follow up with. And look here, we have Zach. He has this red next to him. That means he has over 50 scored. So he has engaged so many times by filling out a survey or watching a video that he is now on your hot prospect list. And let me show you going back to the homepage where you see that. On your homepage or dashboard, you'll see there's a fire in the top right. And it's going to show you how many people are your hot prospects that have over 50. So every time you send something out, it is considered an exposure. And in this case, this demo account has 31 exposures. That means they've sent out 31 things, whether it's a survey, a link to a video, etc. And they have 28 engagements. The engagements are key. That's what you really want. We want these two numbers to be as close as possible, because the engagement means that they actually opened it. They actually completed the form. They actually watched the video. And when you send something to someone based on this app, when you go into your contacts and click on, let's say, Jen, and want to invite her to an event, we have all these, every week we have overviews on Tuesdays and Thursdays, and then of course Phone on Friday. Well, that's just for team. But let's say you want to invite this prospect to the next overview. Now, because of elections in the United States, we're not going to do it on Tuesday, but we will have one next Thursday. So when you click on that, you'll see it comes up. And by the way, the times are going to be based on your time zone. So you'll want to make sure, I'll show you in just a moment in your profile to make sure that your time zone is set to your correct one. That way the events are going to come up correctly. And if you haven't seen this, this is so amazing. Antoine talks about this all the time. There's a big difference between the AdvNav app and sending someone a link to Zoom. When you send them a link through the AdvNav app to a Zoom event, if they go there beforehand, it's going to open it up to a beautiful landing page with the countdown. And as you can see here, it says 6 days to go, 8 hours. In the meantime, they're a little excited. They want to know about at-cost metals right now. So they could actually click learn more and go through a series of 8 to 12 different videos and resources. If they click join now, it's integrated with the at-cost metals join page, where they can just sign up right there. Let me close this out. If they fill out a form, it's going to come directly to you through email and as well through the app. It's going to be, there will be a notification, and your information will be at the bottom based on if you've populated this in your profile. So let me show you what I mean by that. Oh, but by the way, let me just click back on this. This is so important. This is like the key to it, which is so beautiful. When you invite people this way versus just sending them the Zoom link, that when the Zoom is done and the host Antoine clicks in meeting, it closes the window and they're back here again. And now they have your information right there. That's key. That is so important that you keep everyone captive on your page. At the very bottom, if you're brand new, we have a coaching section, and this is where you can go through, if this is your first time joining us, that you can go through and go through some tutorials, catch up on the Funnel Fridays. This is week 3, but we're we do everything very redundantly because we know there's new people starting every week. And where I want to show you is under the More button on the bottom right. If you go to settings, this is where you'll upload your headshot. This is where you'll set your time zone and add your referral code. From this here, you're going to want to type in what you want to show. If you don't want your state to show, you don't have to have your state or province to show. It could just say United States. You don't have to put your city in. It's up to you, however much transparency you want to have. Most important is your referral code so that the at-cost metals join page integrates seamlessly. You're going to want to make sure you click edit and type it in. And this one's mine, so of course you're going to want to type yours in. But as you see, it is not a link. It's just a word. So, and then your rank, if you're a member, if you're an affiliate, if you're a silver, if you're a gold. Type any of those. And then here are your social media. And you can look on Google to find out how to find these and then populate them. And then they'll show up on your business card. Now, this at the top here, we talked about it last week a little bit, so I'll just talk about it just very quickly. And this Upline Success Coaches email, you're going to use that if you want them to, if you want your upline to receive the notifications that you get. So like, let's say maybe you are super busy working a few jobs and you don't have time to check the app, or maybe you're not really technically savvy and you want your upline to help you with that. You've talked to them about it. Then they'll be able to remind you, hey, did you see that Bob watched the video? You need to follow up. Let's strategize on what you want to say to Bob. How cool is that? This would also be good in the case that you have team and your email would be in here so that you would be notified if there was a team member that wasn't following up, that person didn't fall through the cracks. So under account settings is where the time zone is. So make sure that you ship that to whatever your time zone is so that your events come up properly. All right, let's see. I'm looking through my notes on the demo. And let's see, what else should we show you really quickly? If you have a question, go ahead and type it in the chat box. I see Chris put, can you post a replay in the Facebook group, please? Absolutely. We always do. We post, this is live streamed right now on YouTube. It's also going to be in the coaching section. And so we always post it in the Telegram and Facebook groups. So let's say you need to follow up with someone and you're not quite sure, we ask you to send this, your challenge is to send a follow-up to 3 hot prospects. So here's 2 right here. I'm going to click on this. I got Zach and I've got Peter. What to send them? Well, what I do is I look through the resources. So if you click on the person and then click on send resource, when you do it this way, it's going to send a trackable, unique URL to this person when you'll see in just a moment. As long as you got to make sure you don't click on it, because anytime they click on it and they take an action, it's going to notify you. So of course you don't want to click on it, because then you'll get some kind of false positive and get super excited thinking that they're clicking on it when it was actually you. So when I click on this, when we say follow up with someone, we're assuming that you've already gotten permission and you've already sent them probably something from the peak, which the peak category is very short, 1 to 3 minute videos just to intro them. And then it moves into the overview and the comp plan. So assuming that these people have already seen some kind of peak and as well the overview and comp plan. Now you will know case by case what a person has seen, because again, it's going to show you under their activity. So in this case, we want you to go to the follow-up, assuming that they've already had that. And then based on maybe what's going on around the world right now, I mean, right now the elections are heating up. I don't want anyone to get political here, but my point is that wherever you are on that spectrum, you might be able to utilize this, because one thing is for certain, there is a lot of uncertainty in the air, and that's going to cause problems with the economy. And in a bad economy, gold and silver thrive. It is our stabilizer. It's our hedge against inflation. And so helping them to understand that would be key. One of my favorites is the End of the Road documentary. And you can send them the full documentary that's close to an hour, or if you just want to give them a sampler and see, because maybe they're super busy, but you want it to get to the point, you could send them the 9-minute documentary. And anytime, if you are brand spanking new, anytime you see a resource and you're not sure if you like it yourself, we want you to come through here and click on all these things and then click play and watch them yourself. It's going to open up the landing page, just like we saw, similar to the event page, but this one is a video page, and then you can watch it, and here it is. And this is how you're going to determine what your favorites are, and then as people are talking about pricing, or my grandpa used to collect coins, whatever they're thinking, then all of a sudden, are telling you, all of a sudden you're thinking, what do I have in the app that I could send them? So that's what I would do, is I would follow up. Another great one that I absolutely love, if you haven't already sent it out, especially right now during this time, under the peak, is why silver will make you a millionaire. It's a third-party webinar that was done by some experts in the industry talking about gold and silver. So it doesn't even touch on at-cost metals, which in many cases is really good, because then they understand the importance of gold and silver without them feeling like you're trying to sell them on something. And then after they understand the importance of gold and silver, then my favorite hashtag is, why would you pay more elsewhere? Why pay more elsewhere? if I can get it to you for at cost and you can save up to 18%, why would you want to do it? So as I'm right here, is there anything that you'd like to see? And by the way, you cannot break this app. You can type it in the chat box. If you have a question, you could raise your hand if you'd like to ask the question. You cannot break this app, so please familiarize yourself. We've got some great resources here, and we just keep adding more. Again, under that follow-up, we have the kickoff event highlights, just 2 right now, but more coming. And if you wanted to know some information about the specialty coins, there's some really good stuff there. And if someone were to say, is that one of those Ponzi schemes? This is a great little humorous thing. It's even something that you can just post on your social media. So if you wanted to send something to social media, you're going to want to go directly to a resource that's not connected to a contact. So remember, from the top, let me go to the very top again. If I want to send something that's trackable, I'm going to go to a contact first, and then I'm going to click on send resource or invite to event. If I want to go to social media, it's going to be not trackable because when people are clicking on it, unless they fill out the form, you're not going to know who it is. And so it's not going to do you any good for it to be trackable. You're just going to be going, oh my God, 5 people clicked on this, or I got 5 clicks. I don't know if it was one person clicking 5 times or if it was 5 different people. So you don't even need it trackable. You click on the resource and it looks identical. You go to where you want it to go, where you want to go under peak. And in this case, you want to put this one, or like we were just talking about, just a funny one. I think it's funny. Again, click play to play it. Is it a pyramid scheme? Because so many people, that is their go-to whenever they, are spooked out by something about network marketing. They just want to say something like that. Like, is this a pyramid scheme? And this is it's like, I think it's, let's see, I think it's about 3 minutes long. It's just a little cartoon. You might have seen it before, but it really drives the point of no, it's not. So under events, again, there's a fine balance between inviting to a live event, because live events are very effective. However, today is a Friday, so our next event is not till next Thursday. So I would not be leading with an event today, because you want to close them if possible, if you've been sprinkling on them, or even just, opening up the conversation. Someone could say yes to you, although it takes average 3 to 7 times before someone says yes. How many times have you heard of someone that says yes immediately? I mean, there's people that that all of us, this has happened to everyone. It's called, there is a circle of that each of us have, where if you ask someone to do something, they will do it because they trust you and they respect you. And so they may just say, hey, if it will help you, I'll do it. Where do I sign up? So if you're trying to get them in before the end of the week, before week closes, then you're not going to want to send them to an event. And that's why we have this all set up, because we don't want people to have to wait for an event. Although, again, events are very effective, there's a time and place for it. And that's the big thing about this app as well, is you need to know what's in your resource library, because it's important that as they're talking to you, which resource that's going to be the most effective for them. Because we have it listed 1 through 10 for you, but it may not look like that. You may have already just went to lunch with them and gotten a verbal permission. And maybe they are a seasoned network marketer and they want to go straight to the comp plan. They just want to see the nuts and bolts. So you're going to want to go down to follow-up. And under follow-up is where you're going to find the comp plan. And you can say, okay, here's the details on the comp plan. When you click the box, based on what you have on their profile, if you have the email and the telephone, then these three icons will show up. This first one here is email. The second one here is text. And the third one here is like a copy and paste if you want to send it through a messenger. So let me click text. I have an iPhone. Now, if you're on an Android, it's going to look a little bit different. But what it will do is I just pulled it up as a resource. So it doesn't add the person's name. So I can just take out that comma. I can modify it however I wish. But it brings up some sample text. You can change it out as much as you want, and it gives you the link. And then you just click send. All right, let's see if we have any questions. Well, I hope this is creating value for you. If you're intimidated by the app, I want you to sincerely not be. It's super user-friendly. If there's any technical issues, we have a support team that is dedicated to us. Under the More button on the bottom right, you can just go under Support and go from there. There's a knowledge base, there's chat, you can open a ticket, and so much more. So we will be here next week for Funnel Fridays, week 4, where we're going to be talking about how you can generate new leads through the system. Our system is predominantly warm market. Warm market means people that you know, family, friends, acquaintances, etc. But we have a way that's going to help you to even generate leads. We're going to give you some ideas on that. So I want to thank you so much for joining us. And until next Friday, let's finish strong.